Hi, welcome back to our technical screencast for the Bates College Independent Study, a virtual tour of Bates. In this video, I'm going to go over some of the domain name services, also known as DNS, required for our website. So let's get started. Our first step is to navigate to Google Domains, which is my preferred DNS provider. Again, this is more or less the same thing as GoDaddy or Cloudflare, but it's just a matter of preference, and I think that Google makes it easy to integrate with their other apps, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. So, manage my domains. These are a few that I have already set up. So let's go and search domains and see if we can find something we like. So for example, if I wanted to have the site named virtual tour of virtual Bates, bvt.com, batesvirtualtour.com. So bvt.com is taken, maybe batesvirtualtour.com. batesvirtualtour.com. Great. So we add this to cart, proceed to checkout. Great, so now that we have our domain purchased, which is right here, you can see batesvirtualtour.com, we need some way to actually link that to our web app that we deployed using Heroku. So if we go back to our terminal and we open up our code editor, Atom, let's see what we're looking at. So first off, when you're deploying to Heroku, you need to make a change every time, because when you're deploying from Heroku, you're actually only deploying through GitHub, which your master branch on each project is then linked to a Heroku. So in this case, we just need to make a change so that we can commit to our master branch and then ultimately redeploy, so I can show you guys what it is that I'm talking about. So let's make a change here. Let's call these tours. So we save that, go back to our terminal, git status. We see that our main HBS file has been modified. Git add, git committed, modified drop down, and then let's push our changes to GitHub. Great, so now if we git push Heroku master, I'll now show you guys what it is that I'm talking about. So as you can see, Heroku is deploying my master branch, which was just updated, to the Heroku app, which I created in a previous video. So Heroku does a thing where it creates a unique URL for your app. So right now, my app either lives on my local machine, which is localhost 3000, or at this sort of funky looking URL that Heroku created for us. And we can see now that this tours was then created here. So the problem is that how do I get this URL, which is some weird randomly generated domain given by Heroku, and actually direct it towards batesvirtualtour.com. In order to actually direct or point our purchased URL to our sort of funky looking Heroku URL here, we need to do a few things on on our DNS provider, which is Google Domains. So first things first, when you want to add the domain to Heroku, I followed a tutorial that I found online connecting Heroku and Google Domains. And so what you do is in the terminal, you need to enter Heroku Domains, add whatever the name is of your website. So let's do that now. So it's going to be Heroku Domains :add www.batesvirtual don't spell that wrong, tour.com. Domain added to the app. Okay, great. So now it's still not ready yet because all that did was on the Heroku, all that did was point the Heroku to the Google. But in order to do this successfully, you actually not only need to point one, but you actually need to point both to each other. So for example, if we look at Still Beach, which was our app deployed 3 minutes ago, it's still only pointing to this weird sort of URL created here. But if we then go to our Google Domains and we click on the DNS button, we'll see all of these settings that Google lays out for us that help us to sort of direct our domain. And so this is another just neat trick. You have to add, click down here, you have to register CNAME at www. and then the name of your URL that you desire, .com.herokudns.com. And if you type those in correctly, you should then be able to direct your URL towards the desired web application. And just so you guys understand, this www. is just a naming convention that I could actually change to be anything I want, really. Yeah, so let's see if it worked. www.bates. I actually take that back. What this does is basically point batesvirtualtour.com to www.batesvirtualtour.com, which is a naming convention that the browser uses. So if I just go ahead and actually just point to batesvirtualtour.com, you will see it's very quick, so you might have missed it, but it goes back to www. So I'll show you again, batesvirtualtour.com, enter, points me back to www.batesvirtualtour.com, which is what I registered in my Google DNS provider here. We rerouted our Heroku app to our desired domain. We now have a little bit more to do, because as you can see from the domain or URL in the browser, it's just www.batesvirtualtour.com, which at first glance seems fine, but if you look carefully, you'll see that there's actually no green lock in the left-hand corner, which you're so accustomed to seeing. And this is because as of right now, you have an unsecure connection to the website. And all that this really means is that I'm not using a protocol known as HTTPS, which is a secure way, basically secure HTTP, which is just a way of sending data across the browser. And to sort of give you a sense of what I'm talking about, you see when you go into a major site, they always have this secure button in the left-hand corner, which stands for HTTPS. And that basically is just a way that like users know that the site is sort of legitimate and that their information is safe from from hackers and other, I guess, bad people out there who are trying to get access to your information. So it's just like a layer of security. So we want to get that on our website, even though we're not necessarily a Yahoo or a Facebook. And in this, likely people won't be inputting any of their own personal information. It's still good programming practice. So let's go through that process now. A way that I personally like to get my site secure is using a service called Cloudflare. And Cloudflare is just a way, well, it's a site that has a number of different web services, but basically how it works is you route your web traffic sort of through them by inputting your domain, and they have a bunch of awesome, really easy to use services that go along with it. So in order to get started, our first step is to change our name servers. So what this means is that our current name servers here, Google 1, C2, C3, C4, which can be seen here, need to be changed right here, name server, need to be changed to a custom name server named Frank NS Cloudflare, Cami, and then remove these three. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to use custom name servers, and we're going to go here and we're going to copy this. And we're going to add another one. Great. So now that our name servers are named and saved on Google Domains end, let's continue. Okay. Please ensure that your website is using the names provided. Allow for 24 hours for the change to be processed. Okay. Domain security, medium. So this is sort of what we want. And I think that this is going to take up to a day to sort of fully transfer over, or more or less reroute my web traffic through Cloudflare's servers. So we need to be patient with that. But what we really want to focus on here is the security level. On Cloudflare, we now have rerouted successfully our web traffic through their services by renaming custom DNS providers seen in the past few moments. So now all we have to do is go into crypto and unlock this always use HTTPS. Once it's on, we unlock this opportunistic encryption and automatic HTTP rewrites, which just reroutes HTTP to HTTPS. This is going to take a little bit to load, but that's all for now. It should be successfully rerouted within 24 hours, so I will post the link then. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.